Hello, I'm on my way to Yasaka Jinja in Osaka, here in Japan. Jinja means shrine, by the way. It's less than 10 minutes from my apartment, and I've seen some photos online and it looks really cool with a huge stage area in the shape of a shishi, which is like a mythical lion creature, which stands as a protector and a bringer of good fortune in the Shinto religion. I'm also going to try and pick up an Omikuji, which is like a fortune slip, a piece of paper that tells you your current fortune. So if you've never been to a shrine, this video will give you a really good taste of what it's like. And in Japan there are two main types of religious space. One is a temple, which is Buddhist, and the other is a shrine, which is Shinto, and that's a religion that's basically unique to Japan. The two spaces are similar, there's a bit of crossover between them, but lots of points of difference as well. So Google Maps is telling me we're very close now, but I saw this cat cafe on the left here, and they're pretty popular in Japan at the moment. I think there are even some in the UK. Obviously you can go in and play with cats. But we're not here to go to a cat cafe today, we're here to go to a shrine. So we're approaching the shrine now. You can see it on the left. You can see the gate, or the torii. You often see those in bright red in Japan, but you get stone ones like this as well. And on the front here it just says Namba Yasaka Jinja. Namba is the district we're in here. We can already see the stage. How cool does that look? Let's just look at this sign first on our left, and it's talking about Hosan, which is supporting your local shrine, and it's just saying you can apply to be a member. And the cheapest option was fairly cheap, 6,000 yen I think it said for the year, which is about how much you'd spend on a typical shopping trip. So, to the supermarket. So it's a good way to support your local shrine, and we're approaching it here. I was surprised how many people there were in the middle of the day, but I guess they're all here for this really cool looking stage, which is not typical of shrines, and that's why people come to see it. This is quite unusual. Really cool though, of course. It's called the Shishiden, and a shishi is a lion. It's a lot like a lion. It's like a mythical creature, and den I think means like residence. And the whole thing is 12 meters tall, and the eyes actually become lights, and the nose has speakers in it. So yeah, there's a stage area that's used for festivals and dancing and things like that. And then, yeah, we can see, I think there's a shrine inside, but only the priests can go in that and perform their duties. But people visit this in general if they're wanting fortune or luck for an event they have coming up, like an exam or a performance, because the shishi is said to bring good fortune. And from what I can gather, this stage was built in 1974, but it still looks great. It still looks fresh and new. And I think that sign, that just said who was involved in the design and the construction of it. So yeah, that's a bit of the shrine close up inside. And then if we head over here to what's called the shamusho, which is like the office where you can buy things, and again, obviously you're supporting the shrine. They do run like businesses, and they're not really ashamed to kind of act like one. That's the impression I get. So I'm just looking at this sign here, and it's saying that you can apply to have a blessing or a prayer said for you at the top, and then shuin for 500 yen. I think that's some kind of stamp that you can get for people who collect stamps. And then you have like little amulets and talismans, like the one on the left is for school kids to put on their bag. And then those wooden plates, they're called ema. We'll see them in a bit. And you write your wish on those and then hang them up. But they've got all little trinkets like that. So let's head over to what's called the Haiden, I think. And this is where you do your praying. I think this is what I think of when I think of a shrine. Especially at New Year, you come here and you ring the bell with the rope, although I couldn't see a bell or a rope here, which I felt was a bit unusual. On the left, we've got something called the komainu, I think, which is a lot like the shishi, but this is a dog. And it's got its mouth closed. And then there's one on the right, which is a shishi, I think, with its mouth open, which is the creature that is the stage as well. So there we go. And they guard this area from evil spirits, and I think you'll find them in most shrines. It says underneath them in kanji, hoken, which means like offering or dedication. I don't know whether that means they were bought by someone or whether they're just, you know, this whole area is about dedicating yourself. Not quite sure. And these are the ema, which we saw over at the counter earlier. And so again, if you've got something coming up, you can buy an ema and write what you want to achieve on them and then hang them up and say a prayer. A lot of these were in English, actually. There were a few in Japanese. It did feel like a lot of people who were here today were tourists. And I guess, yeah, by building such a stage, Yasaka Jinja really has become a tourist spot and set itself apart from a lot of other shrines. I mean, other shrines are cool, but not many have anything like that stage. So we're just heading over here to what I think are some more small shrines made out of wood. I think that says Hoken underneath as well, but it's written backwards in the more traditional way. So in Shinto, I don't know lots about it, to be honest. There are loads of different deities, and I think that's probably what these shrines are for. And then this was interesting. This was like a monument, or it was a piece of a ship from World War II that was obviously on the side of Japan. And I think there was an accident or someone sabotaged it, from what I read. And that's a piece of the ship because a lot of people lost their lives. Then I'm not quite sure what these things over here are, but it was a really nice day. The sun was shining. It was nice and mild. So let's head back into the center, and maybe I can try and pick up an Omikuji, which is the fortune slip I mentioned at the start. Oh, I saw these two ladies measuring themselves up against that chart. I think that's just because a lot of people come here for ceremonies and things like that. I imagine it's for kids to measure their progress. I don't know. If someone knows, correct me if I'm wrong. That's just what I'm guessing. So I queued up here. Konnichiwa. Omikuji ga kaimasu ka? Hai. Okay. So this is just me pulling out my number that dictates what fortune I'm going to get. And I got number 9. So here we go, let's see what fortune I got. I've done this before a few times. It's been a while since I've done it. And I got Shokichi, which is small luck. So could be better, but it could be worse. So we'll have a look at that when I get home. I'll talk you through what it says. This was interesting. It said this area is the birthplace of Namba negi, which is a type. Negi means spring onion, or what do you Americans call it? Not spring onion, something else. And I think it's still a thing now. You know, you can buy Namba negi, and that's interesting that apparently it started right there. Negi, spring onions, very popular in Japan. They're a really important flavour and garnish for a lot of things. You'll see them on the top of ramen, tofu, and lots of other different things. So let's head over to this section. And if you do get a bad luck omikuji, then people tend to tie it up here in this area. You'll see these areas in all shrines, and that's to help just get rid of the bad luck, I guess. And then this was interesting. There was like an information board. On the left there's a screen where you can interact with it, and they had some stuff in English as well, and it tells you all about the shrine. And then on the right there was like a map of all local businesses who, I guess, they're sponsors. of the shrine, and you can see who's sponsored and go and check them out if you like. Like I said, they kind of don't make an effort to hide that they need money really to keep on going. And of course there are the priests as well, who keep the whole thing running. Whereas temples have Buddhist monks, I think they're referred to as priests. I think in Japanese it's kannushi. And then just over here on the right, this is something you're meant to do actually when you come in, I think. Washing yourself. There's water and a little bowl, and you can wash your hands and your mouth. And then there was that chart as well, Yakudoshi Hyo, or the unlucky years chart. And apparently in Japanese traditions there are specific ages when you're believed to be more susceptible to bad luck or challenges. So these tables tell you what years of your life those are, and then you can go to the shrine to pray for better luck. But yeah, so that concludes my little tour around Yasaka Jinja. There are 3 ways to get in and out, and yeah, we're just exiting by a different one. Okay, I've just got back from the shrine, so let's have a look at my Omikuji, which is a fortune slip that you can get at shrines. And you might have seen I pulled out the stick for number 9, and this is the fortune slip you get. So the most important part is here. This says unsei, I think that is. I've had to look up quite a few readings on here. That just means fortune, and then this is the important part, shokichi. So that means small, and that means luck. So I'm in the small luck category. It's definitely not the best, but it's definitely not the worst, because you can actually get bad luck ones. Yeah, things aren't looking too bad for me, according to this slip. Let's read this. So, kurushikaru hi no sugi yukite. So it's like, as the hard days pass, look up to the light of the blessings of God. And then it's got like a prayer here. So it says, inorimashou, let's pray. Purify your mind and body of disaster, and now cling to God. Various troubles, we can overcome various troubles and open the door to good luck. Definitely in the near future, happy days will visit. So that sounds good to me. And then if you come down here, I'm not going to read all these out, but there are different kind of readings for different areas of your life. So you've got like love, having children, progressing academically, career, home, illness. So let's look at what it says for love. Shito ya urami ni kokoro wo kogasazu. So don't burn your heart on grief and jealousy. Odayaka ni sureba joju suru. So be calm and you will find fulfillment. And then if we look at byoki, which is illness, it says, I think that's shinshin. It means believe in God anyway. Through believing in God, things will start to move in a good direction. That sounds good to me as well. And then there's this on the back as well, which is like teachings, or God's teachings. So there you go, that's an Omikuji. Some of the bigger shrines, I know the ones in Tokyo, sometimes they have English on the back as well, but I kind of like these proper traditional Japanese ones. So if you go to a shrine and you want to have your fortune told, then you can do it. It's pretty cheap. This was 200 yen for this. And it was nice to meet an actual monk and have it from him, because sometimes you can just get them in kind of drawers that you pull out, but it was nice to buy it from the guy. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I enjoyed going there. Yeah, it's a very calming place and a really good way to experience Shintoism and Japanese culture. So I definitely recommend it if you're in Namba, go into that one, but there are shrines all over Japan. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe. I've got loads more videos coming, going to the shops, going around tourist areas and trying to explain a bit about the language and culture as I go from a foreigner's perspective. So if you subscribe, you'll get all that in your feed. Thanks for watching though, and I'll speak to you next time.